You can take it at any point probably that any such house, because you like this house, is it on time, so it's. What brains, so it's just.
I don't know.
I was probably that part of the class, but instead of saying I would focus on the way, then I was 35 years old. Walking around, pretty good. Only 1 minute to get out. I compared and you're second 2 hours.
And you were putting.
How many questions?
Oh my God.
No, some of it is. Some of it was real quick. And there's very it's like some of it is just like you can super once. And other ones were. They created how much that you do, how much you.
So,
You know,
so,
oh,
oh, this thing.
almost like go back. One thing.
So this guy, this is about stage.
Yeah, I can toggle if I need
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only like 5 minutes.
This way?
It was only like 5 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's super fast. And I went to get on the highway and it was all backed up, so I just took like it basically parallels 75. I took that all the way right to Hopple Street, so it's like.
Yeah.
Even with the backup, I was.
That's simple car.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, when it gets down to the standard.
Yeah, hopefully. Probably you can get a fine like this.
Yeah.
What is like Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday?
We have some hours on Fridays where we're not open to the public, but we're sorting through stuff upstairs.
Yeah, it's probably looking at Saturday. Is it all, it's all day or something?
Yeah, so it's, well, Saturday, Tuesdays and Saturdays, it's 10 to 2. And Thursdays is 12 to 6. That's our.
Yeah, there's a keg in the back.
We get calls.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, there you go.
Sleepers through the hot part. So it's a long hot summer, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you can take coat down here.
Yes, you can always find someone there to take home with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Well, it depends, it's different personality. Right? Some people like their life, they're like if it's
She's gotta have something to take.
yeah,
Yeah.
something magnet.
And other people have the power to go and be like, yeah, what any of this.
That's why I am.
Yeah, me too.
I
I'm
really
the
don't
same way.
want
I feel the same way. Yeah,
Pretty much,
it has to be something really special to be like, I'm taking this with me.
yeah, yeah, it's, we, I know it's.
You're not alone. That's so many people.
It doesn't bother me that much until you can't like find actually one spot that has open space at all, you know, anywhere. And it's like, well, it's time to like hang something there. I mean, she's something that too, but it's just like
It's
a
hard to work
personality.
with, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, part with it.
it's like fun too. It's
Yeah.
insane, you know?
Yeah.
It's, our safety officer, you know, she is like really good at that.
Is she?
I had her, and she came into my lab. Like, I should have had it in my office too, and it's just like, this, no, everything, like, we cleaned the whole thing out, there's so much stuff.
Amazing.
You know, it's just air afterwards, it's so nice, you know, like your brain is free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fresh, yes.
You know, basically how it weights you down. You know, so, but, yeah, we'll get started again. So you guys, so Carrie Harms is here from the Cincinnati Reuse and Recycling Hub, which is I guess it's 3 years old, 3.5 years old. Yeah, so I thought it was really old, but actually it's kind of modern new, you know? But it has a history that goes back with other people in the city and things. And Carrie did a bachelor's in that here, in interior design, then went into restaurant designing. And then when during COVID, that business completely collapsed. And she became like, what, you're like the manager there or something?
So
like-
I'm one of the founders and the warehouse director of the hub.
Yeah,
So all things operations.
so they take volunteers, right? And what, some of you guys have been there or?
You
Or-
look familiar. I thought you
okay.
did. Yeah,
Yeah. So anyway, Saturdays 10 to 2,
yeah.
free beer. All you can drink, yeah. So it's like, and popcorn. But anyway, it's basically, it's a warehouse. So what is it? Tell me, you've been there. What, it's like a warehouse and then there's sortings going on and things like that and collection and people come in.
You've been upstairs mostly, haven't you? On the
Yeah.
days we're closed, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
So, couple opportunities, so open days, customer facing, helping people sort their things, that is for sure Thursdays, and then most of the Saturdays, like primarily if you sign up, we need help task downstairs first, helping customers, but we do have opportunities in our warehouse, helping to sort things upstairs as well. Which is also Tuesdays 10 to 2, Fridays also 10 to 12 on Fridays, and then depending on us, our Saturday signups, if you really wanted to be upstairs, you just requested it, we can usually make it happen, so.
Yeah, so they're downtown, they're like right downtown.
Yeah, just west of downtown.
5 minutes
Lower
from here.
Price Hill, on Evans Street, it's more, kind of industrial area, just, kind of south of Union Terminal and west of downtown, so.
What's the Cincinnati Reuse Center? I don't know what that is. That comes up every time I do a search. here.
That's it.
Yeah, so they're kind of like right there or wherever we are. I guess it doesn't show us. We're somewhere here.
Yep.
We're here. So it's basically like just across the railroad
Yeah,
tracks.
it's like 5 minutes from here.
You could almost walk.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's kind of like highway there.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so I don't know if you want to, do you want to talk a little bit or I can, all right.
Do a little history of the hub and about what we're doing. So, the hub opened up in April of 2021. And our mission ultimately is to change the way people think about things. And to provide a place where almost anything can be recycled or reused. Reuse is certainly a big part of, what we're doing at the hub. We have probably about 8,000 square feet of space dedicated to reuse. If, you guys ever need like a binder or a reusable water cup or something like that, if you need a greeting card for an occasion, I know people don't send greeting cards too much anymore, but if you need hangers for your closet, we have them at the hub. We let people, it's kind of our motto is take what you need, pay what you can. We don't charge people to take anything from our reuse area, but we just appreciate donations as a nonprofit organization that helps support our programming and our mission. So, but what we're accomplishing basically is filling gaps in recycling and reuse in this region. So I understand Rumpke, Jeff Snyder from Rumpke was just here, was it last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not taking any of the things that Rumpke's taking. We are not competing with them. We are filling the gaps. So pretty much anything that is plastic that cannot go into curbside recycling, for the most part, we can take it at the hub to be either recycled or reused. So we always are looking for things that people will bring us intending to recycle, and it's oftentimes we'll pull it and put it out for reuse if it's in good condition. So that's really what our goal is. And you know, Rumpke is is a company that started here in Cincinnati. It was a family-run business. They're doing really good things. I think they tend to get a bit of a bad rap, but the onus is on us as residents to be knowledgeable about what you're putting into your bin, make sure it's the right things. They don't do a great job about updating signage on your bins if you have one. So you really have to be responsible to like going to the website, following them on social media. They do a really good job pushing out a lot of helpful information on social media. But for those that are not on social media and a lot of the older population of people in the region, if you aren't on that, it's hard to get the most current information. But you just have to kind of do your homework and making sure you're putting the right things in. And don't, if you ever don't think if you ever aren't sure something can go in, like just don't guess and put it in there and say, like, they'll figure it out. But all the other things can come to us at the hub, both rigid plastics, so plastics that are molded into a shape and hold their shape, as well as any kind of bag type plastic too. All of those things can come to us to get recycled. We also take a lot of things for a small fee, for things that are really important to keep out of the landfill. So electronics, batteries, light bulbs, smoke detectors, electronic media, which is things like DVDs and CDs, cassette tapes and VHS tapes, which has kind of had a comeback. I understand a lot of the people your age come in and want to pick through our cassette tapes and VHS tapes, which I'm fascinated by, but ink and toner cartridges, all those things can get recycled for a small fee at the hub, and it's really important, again, that stuff does not go into the landfill. And then I
So
talked.
do you, like the electronics, do you sell that to someone or?
So it depends on what it is. We have a partnership with a company in Florence, Kentucky, called IT Supply Solutions. So they'll take a lot of our, like if we get a tablet in or a laptop computer in or a computer screen, things like that, they will take it and they clear all the data off of it if there's still data on it, and then we get what is called a certificate of destruction, basically ensuring that all of the data, if there's any on there, has been wiped clean, and then they try to see if they can upgrade the operating system, make it so that it's usable and good working order. And if so, they will pay. They do then pay us for it if they're able to then resell it. If not, it's going to get recycled, which is, you know, all of the cords and the metal parts inside. Obviously, there's value in that. The plastic, not so much, but they get taken apart, sorted. Most of it is it's a lot of yes.
Overseas or something?
Nothing, none of the places we send anything to is leaving the country at all. So we do not partner with anybody that sells anything overseas. So we just had a phone call a couple of weeks ago with a lady who started a place in Warren, Ohio called Clover Recycling. It's been there for like over 100 years, and they just recently, it's a very similar, we felt like at a cursory look at their website, it felt very similar to what we're doing. And we're like, oh, this is interesting. We want to kind of talk to her and pick her brain a bit. And they just recently updated their website where it says all electronics can come to us at no charge. And we were like, oh my gosh, where is she sending this stuff to? Because we're like, we're charging fees. If you cannot charge fees and take it, like that's to everybody's benefit. But she's sending it to Malaysia. Like, so I mean, and at the end
That's a
of
lot of handwork, take it apart, right? You get the precious metals from it.
so at the end of the day, it was like, we felt a little disillusioned, and we're like, you know, we also felt very good about what we're doing and being responsible and where things are going, making sure they're staying in the country, that what's supposed to be happening to them is happening to them, and vetting all of our outlets, you know, and making sure that the proper things are happening. So So certainly like,
So what about these other things like this, like the Dow Chemical orange bag thing?
so from Rumpke,
Yeah.
are you talking about the hefty
There
review
have
program?
been, there's other things that where they're collecting like that, and then, I mean, there's some question about where it goes, right?
Yeah.
Like it goes to Dow Chemical, like what do they do with it?
I know, it's a really good question. It's honestly like, it's not a program we participate in. When Rumpke rolled that program out, the Orange Bag Hefty Review Program, you know, at the end of the day, we were like, if this helps keep stuff out of the landfill, like that's beneficial. There's also no equity in like having to buy a bag to be able to recycle more things, when there's a lot of communities in the area that don't have access to curbside recycling, period. So I really wish Rumpke would be focusing more on getting curbside recycling into all the areas in this region. But you know, it's new, it's a relatively new program, and we rolled it out in November. So our messaging to our customers is, if that's a program you want to participate in and it helps you, you know, by not having to bring it to us at the hub, then that's your choice. But everything that goes into the bag can still come to us at the hub, but everything we take cannot go into the bag. So we're just encouraging our existing customers, like if you're bringing us stuff anyway and you want to just continue to bring it to us, we're happy to take it.
Are you at, how close are you to at capacity, like, how much more can you do?
We can handle more for sure, absolutely. We can, we continue to grow, we've grown a ton over the past 3.5 years. Just in the first quarter of this year alone, we added 3 employees, to help us continue to manage the things, and a large part of that was, a volunteer coordinator, which our volunteer base is, I think, was about close to 500 people this year alone. So that's grown wildly, since last year, because I think last year, by the end of the calendar year, we had a volunteer database of maybe 400 people.
I think you can learn a lot about recycling by going in there for.
You can, for sure. It is learning, whether you come as a volunteer, whether you come as a customer. I had a lady today come in and say, like, I learn something every time I come here. At the end of the day, recycling is not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it and doing it properly. So that is where, you know, the tricky part of it is, it's really our responsibility, like I said earlier, to, you know, be educating ourselves on recycling, whether it's through your curbside program or through places like the hub. Reuse, obviously, so important. Reuse is very thought about. I think I was saying to Greg earlier, you know, we have become programmed to be very disposably minded. When you're done with something, you throw it in the trash. And ultimately, you know, what the hub is trying to do is have everybody kind of pause before something goes into the trash. First of all, backing up, it's not throwing something away, because we all know it's not going away. It's going into a landfill, so it's either trash or it's garbage. But before you put anything in there, you know, can somebody still use the thing in the way it was intended to be used? Could somebody else possibly use it in a different way? Or can it be recycled through non-traditional curbside recycling means? And that's our responsibility.
Is anybody doing compost, like citywide compost?
Not citywide. The hub is a drop-off location for compost through a program called Queen City Compost. It is a pay what you can program. So it's $5, $10, or $15 a month. We are a drop-off point for them. You can also pick something that is closer to you where you live. They have other drop-off locations around town. If you go to our website under what we take, compost is one of the things. And it talks about the Queen City Commons composting. It is basically the equivalent of backyard compost. You use your own bucket, you fill your bucket at home, which food scraps is such a huge landfill hog. And to be able to keep this kind of stuff out of the landfill is really important. And we're happy to partner with Queen City Commons, and you know, to be able to do this. So you use your own bucket, you get a combination to the code of the bin at whatever drop-off location you choose. If it's the hub, you'll get a combination to our bin that's outside our door. You bring your bucket, you open the bin, dump your bucket, take it back home and start all over again. So it's a very, like I said, for $5 a month, it's very cost effective. There are other companies doing it locally. Compost Now is another one. That is more expensive because you're using a bin that they're providing. It is kind of like you drop off your full bin, they hand you an empty one. You know, it's branded with their logo and all that jazz. So you're paying for a lot of that, but paying more for the service. But also really important what Compost Now is doing, and their Compost Now's collection encompasses a lot of what is on here as non-acceptable items. Where Queen City Commons is the equivalent to backyard compost. Compost Now is sending their stuff to Go Zero, which is more of an industrial compost level, and so that's why you can put dairy in Compost Now. You can put bones and stuff like that in their collection, but composting is really important. So we're not able to do it ourselves, but we're happy to partner with them to be able to be a drop-off location for compost at the hub. So, which there's lots of things that we take. So if you go to our website under what we take, the drop-down menu, I touched base on this initially, but the things that we take for a fee, seems like it's taking a minute. But you can go to that drop-down menu and pull things up. So it'll I don't know why it's not pulling up, but there it goes.
Yeah,
So what we take for a fee, that you can click for our a PDF of our fee-based guide, but like this is showing you all the things that we take. Everybody has a drawer at home of cables and cords that you either don't know what they go to anymore, or you don't need them anymore. You can bring them to us at the hub and clear out a drawer. Any kind of, like I said, batteries, bicycle helmets, they have expiration dates on them. Car seats also have expiration dates on them. Any kind of computer parts or anything that runs off of a battery or a cord is an electronic and can come to us. We also take vapes and e-cigarettes for a small fee. This is like something that in the past, you know, whatever 5 or more years has been, you know, really ramped up and is also like a landfill hog. So if you bring it to us, we're happy to take it for a small fee and keep it out of the landfill. Holiday lights or string lights we take all year long, and all those things. So that's a really good page to reference. And then the rest of it, we kind of break down into what we take to recycle. So that's all stuff that, again, we're like, wildly is going to get recycled through the various partners programs that we participate in. TerraCycle is one of them. For anybody that isn't familiar with that, this seems like it's, here we go. There's a 15-minute training video about how to come to us at the hub and bring your stuff, but we always have staff and volunteers there to help you. Anything that is a plastic bag generally is going into one of 2 categories, whether it's flexible film, which is a lot of like chip bags and pet food bags, a lot of just in general food packaging, and then the store drop-off category, which is generally softer plastics, 2s and 4s, things labeled store drop off, any kind of shopping bag or cereal liner, a Ziploc bag. Everybody orders everything online and it comes in either a plastic bubble wrap mailing envelope or a bag type mailing envelope. And then if it's clothing, you open it up and then the clothing is in another clear bag. Like all of those bags can come to us to get recycled. Produce bags.
So where does the like the multi-layer film, where does that go?
So the flexible film collection goes to a company called Brightmark, and they are in Ashley, Indiana. There is a company that is opening up, just west of Columbus. I think the end of this year, that they were supposed to be up and running in September, but I think they pushed that back, but it's called Free Point Ecosystems. They do a similar, type of thing. So basically a lot of the plastics that we're sending to them get processed and turned into either, diesel fuel, industrial wax, or into chemicals used to make lesser grade plastics. So at the end of the day, it's not like really plastics recycling, it's plastics processing, but until the whole recycling of plastics improves, this is kind of where we're faced with processing of plastics right now. And, you know, we have to kind of think about our landfills and the landfill rates. Rumpke,
So do so this, right?
Brightmark.
So they're gonna pay,
So we do get paid a little bit of money. We are not making a lot of money off of this. That's why Rumpke's not doing it. Yeah. Yeah, so we do get paid. It's by the ton. So we get paid about, you know, we honestly probably don't even break even when we send a truckload of plastics to them because we have to pay to get the
I
truck.
think Indiana has like a law where they pay for this, in other words, they're encouraging us to stay with Indiana.
Yeah,
So I think that's why it's in Indiana, like.
yeah, they have other locations around the United
It's like a
States too.
pyrolysis.
Pyrolysis, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our flexible film is going, the store drop-off collection that we sell to the truck stacking company. That we are what is considered a community drop-off location for that collection of plastics.
That kind of stuff, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
You worked at the vacuum thing?
Yeah, and,
oh,
Yeah.
exactly, okay. So
You guys
we,
don't use recycled plastic, right? You use virgin?
no, they use, recycled strings.
Oh, do they? Okay.
for PVCs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were sending PVCs to AZAC, and then I've been trying since May to send our PVCs to them, and they have told me that they're not able to take any more at this time. I don't know what that means, but we're currently trying to pivot to find another location, but AZAC or Return Polymers, I guess, that's who we had been sending our number 3 PVCs to. So, but the truck stacking company, they have a program called Next Tracks. We are an approved drop-off location, community drop-off point for that collection of plastic. So this is stuff that you may see collection bins at a Kroger store or sometimes a Target store. But last year, ABC News did a 6-month-long investigation into both Target and Walmart on their store drop-off collection of plastics and found out that the lion's share of it is going to the trash. So if you guys are participating in programs like that, Target and Walmart are not supposed to be collecting it at all anymore. They've been removed from truck stacking collection.
Just because they were lazy or something, like they make money on it, right? Don't they sell it?
Understand why it's difficult for them to do something like this, because at the hub, we're getting the material in, we store it until we have enough to put into our balers. So our balers are basically like a giant compactor. There's a big metal plate that crushes all the plastic into big bales that we put onto pallets, and we store the pallets until we send it to the companies where it's going to. So I can understand for Kroger's and Targets and Walmarts, they don't have these balers like readily available at their stores. They don't have a place to put, you know, store bales. And somebody from Target's not driving all around town, picking up bales of material or materials to bale so that they can sell it. So it makes sense to me, honestly, at the end of the day, that it was going to the trash, because logistically, I don't know how they were doing it.
What about Kroger? I mean, Kroger does that.
So my understanding is Kroger, it's up to the individual store managers what's happening with that collection. So what we are telling our customers is that is a revenue stream for us, because we get paid money from truck stacking to send that to them. So you're supporting the hub by bringing us your plastic bags and your Ziploc bags and your cereal liners when you're done with it. So versus taking it to Kroger, bring it to us, and you're supporting our nonprofit, you know, by just that. So That's what we're telling people. I don't know what other places are doing with it.
Yeah,
I can
it's
only
pretty
tell you what we're
interesting,
doing.
and you don't hear the whole story about it, so it's.
Yeah, no,
From you,
and
like-
that is what the hub values transparency. We absolutely do. So under what we take is a whole page about where it goes. So this whole thing, and we're getting ready to revamp this page, but there is a list of everything and what we're taking and what we're sending to them. All of these places, like I said, they have all been vetted, and we know that what they're saying is that, that they're supposedly doing with it, that they are. October, we started to be able to take #1 thermoform plastic. So this is strawberry containers, blueberry containers, salad containers, and a whole lot of other packaging that's labeled #1 PET that you cannot put into your curbside bin. We are sending it to a company in Texas. Their name is D6, and it is absolutely circular recycling. They are turning that material back into the same material. That is the best kind of recycling. When it is in fact going back and being turned into the type of packaging or product that it was before. So that is also revenue for us. We sent our first truckload of it to them, I think in July, and so we were grateful to be able to send it. But again, it's not a ton of money for us. It's some money, but it's not a ton of money. That's why places like Rumpke are not doing this.
Well, Jeff said that they're taking that now.
So in Columbus, they're taking it in Columbus, and it is a test run to see that. So they just opened a new facility in Columbus.
Oh, okay, well, I've been putting it in the
Yeah,
recycle bin.
Don't put it in your
Okay.
recycle. So if Columbus all goes well, they will be upgrading their technology down here to support taking that in the future. But right now, it's not a collection here in this region, unless you bring it to us at the hub, so. But that is, those are the list of all the places that we send all of our stuff to.
So the tires are really bulky, like how do you handle that? Do you have a truck or something?
So we have a cargo van and we have a box truck, which both of those were able to be purchased through grants through the EPA. And we're super grateful for that. So that is how we transport those things. I will say that tire discounters there. We just recently found out, like from Rumpke, that we can send things to them in a larger volume. And for less money than we were sending it to tire discounters. So we're probably going to be pivoting and sending tires to Rumpke. But
This is Liberty Tire in Columbus.
yeah, we've also looked into them too. Yeah, so
they would pay for it?
it's just more money.
I see.
Yeah, so, and
So you have to pay Liberty Tire to take your.
absolutely, yeah, none of the stuff that we're taking is, it's not, like I said, if it was a big moneymaker, everybody would be doing the things that we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's not, so, but that's, as a nonprofit, obviously we need money to keep the doors open and the lights on, but, and the staff paid, but it is rent and it is staff, salary is the lion's share of what the money that comes into us is used to pay for.
It seems like there's a lot of grants, like DOE and the, EPA, even the defense. I mean, in the interior, all these places, like,
Yeah,
constantly they're saying like, for groups, like, seems
They
like
are.
it's targeted to you.
but like I said, this
'Cause I'm looking for something.
high dollar,
Like,
high dollar grants for big time projects, large projects that we just are not at the like the scale to
Like
be
it
able
has to
to.
be like Rumpke level or something. to do it.
Correct. So we're not quite there yet.
Yeah. It's crazy because it seems like it's pretty lucrative. I mean, from the funding perspective.
For sure, it is. I mean, it can be.
I mean, a lot of it is for Indian tribes, It's like, there seems to be a ton of money for
Yeah, I
Indian
don't know.
tribes. I know. It's really weird every time you see this.
Okay, so what we take to reuse is a whole bunch of things. I talked about it earlier, but we always have corks. We put eyewear out for reuse if like a lot of people my age have reading glasses, so we put those out. We talked about hangers. Garden pots is another thing. If you know anybody who likes to sew, we have always fabric available. If you need highlighters or dry erase markers or pens, you can always come and get them from the hub. We have volunteers that make sure all of them work before they go out onto the shelves. Prescription pill bottles we send to Matthew 25 Ministries for reuse. Styrofoam coolers. We always have packing material. If you're moving from one place to another and you need bubble wrap and air pillows, you can come get it from us. If you have plastic utensils, whether if they're still in the wrapper, we send them to food pantries locally, and Matthew 25 Ministries use for their programs. So that's all stuff that's really important. If, like I was saying earlier, if it can be reused by somebody else, we're happy to take it. There's a couple other organizations locally that I want to mention that is doing reuse, but different from us. Indigo Hippo is in Over the Rhine. They're doing a pay what you can thing to support that neighborhood, which is really awesome. They come to the hub and take stuff from us. They also bring us stuff for us to take from them that they don't necessarily want. And then in Pleasant Ridge is a place called Scrap It Up. And they are doing really great things with reuse too. So there's other outlets out there available in this area for reuse.
How big is your staff? You have,
So we have 14 staff as of this year. The first quarter, like I said, we added three staff members this year: a volunteer coordinator, a reuse manager, and then an employee to help manage our mini hub downstairs. That's the area where our customers come. So 14 paid staff, 6 of them are full-time, and the rest are part-time employees. So what we take through TerraCycle. TerraCycle is a program in New Jersey who gets paid by corporations to recycle hard to recycle things. Toothbrushes, toothpaste tubes, deodorant sticks, stuff you guys are using every day. If anybody wears contacts, like your actual contact lens can come to us. The little storage packets that they come in when they have, like it has an aluminum foil top piece, those can all come to us. If you're wearing a daily, a new contact lens every day, like that is a huge amount of waste that's creating. And it's awesome if you're willing to bring it to us at the hub. But our collection through TerraCycle, basically two situations, either brand specific or any brand. You can scroll through this page and see this is the Bosch and Lomb. This is the contact lens collection that I was talking about. It's the actual lenses, it's the blister packs. Even if you have prescriptions that or contacts that you've never used, and then you had to update to a new prescription, we can take them unopened as well through this collection. Anything, any kind of pump or beauty care item. If you have a container of lotion and it has a pump on top, usually that container can go to curbside recycling, but you don't want to leave the pump on it. I don't know if Jeff got into any of those specifics when he was here talking about Remke. Same thing for any kind of cleaner. If you have a spray cleaner that has a trigger head that you're like squeezing it like this, again, that bottle can go into curbside recycling, but not the trigger head. We'll take the trigger heads too through another collection. But there's a long list of things. If you have any kind of like eye drops that are single use, we can take those eye drop containers, Brita filters and anything associated with that. These Buzzball cans, we'll take them. Plastic gift cards, we will take them. Dunkin' Donuts is a collection, but we'll take any brand of coffee bag to be recycled. This is, again, stuff everybody's using every day. There's a lot of stuff through a Gatorade collection that we have. Any kind of air freshener, we'll take it. Socks, if you have socks that have holes in them or you don't know where the other sock is, we'll take it. Any kind of razors or disposable razors, the razor blades, the packaging, we can take all of that stuff.
so you get So the TerraPack will pay for these things?
TerraCycle gives us
Sure.
points for the things we send to them, and then that turns into money for us, and it's a big.
But do you know what they do with the socks? Like, what do they do? with it?
So the socks, Gold Toe partners, with companies, they get to like round up and then like use this fill for like pet bedding and things like that, so. Yeah, all kinds of ways to reuse those materials. I talked about, Tom's of Maine is sponsors the oral care collection. They're nice enough to say, we'll take anybody's brand of toothbrush, toothpaste tubes, or deodorant sticks. We're not worried about just paying for our own, we'll take anybody's brand, so that's one of those, outliers to collections. Any kind of, sauce packet, Taco Bell is paying to take any kind of sauce packet containers, also includes creamers and things like coffee creamer containers.
Is
that-
most of this gonna go to pyrolysis process or something, or?
So they're cleaning it and shipping it and grinding it up and then breaking it down and sorting it by the materials, so
It's not being turned into oil, turned into fuel?
it is not.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things on this page, but I would be surprised if somebody couldn't come up with one thing on there that they're like, well, yeah, I can take that to the hub, so. Tons of things that we take, there's information about visiting us, there's virtual tours, there's how to drop off, helpful information, that shows like this is kind of up here, this is our front door, our garage door that's open on the days we're open. Talks about sorting as much as you can ahead of time, but again, like we're here to help the staff and our volunteers.
The 14,000.
So on a normal day, we have, they're basically 2-hour shifts, and we have anywhere from 6 to 10 sign-up slots per shift. So it just depends. On our website, if you go to, I think it's under Get Involved, so there's a link to our volunteer page. Lily Greiser is our new volunteer coordinator, but all of the information is on here. There's a link to our handbook. There's a waiver form you have to fill out online. It's good for the entire calendar year. So if you come back more than once during the year, you don't have to fill it out every time. There's a new introductory video, but basically you go down here and where is it? So Tinker Team, I'll talk about that, but, so there's additional volunteer opportunities. If you guys are interested in like taking things apart and seeing if you can make them work again. We have a Tinker Team now that is working on getting fans and, vacuum cleaners that come into the hub that do not work, get them back into working order, and we're donating them to New Life Furniture Bank for the communities that they help serve. And we just had our first Tinker Team the beginning of September, and they had, I think, a 75% repair rate for the time that they were there, which was awesome. This weekend, Saturday from 10 to 2, we're having a Halloween costume swap. So you can bring costumes you have that you don't want anymore, or come and find one that you would like to take and use yourself. Those are all links on here. So, but all of that, so you just click here to volunteer. There's a sign up genius. You pick your day and your time. This is kind of generally what it looks like, but, you just find your day, you find your time, you sign up and you show up, and we're happy to have people come and volunteer with us. Let's see, we do a lot of collections at farmers markets. We just this past Saturday had an event for our green team, which is, it's basically funding electronics drives in communities that are underserved. So these are some of our sponsors that we've had for our green events since April 2023. This past weekend, we were in Camp Washington. So all of the residents of Camp Washington received a postcard that basically said, bring this postcard in your electronics or your batteries or your light bulbs, and we're waiving the fees. You just bring it to us, and we'll get it recycled for you. We also had volunteers helping for that. It was a little rainy that day, but it ended up being, I think, over 3 truckloads of stuff that we got back to the hub that we kept out of landfill. So we were really, really proud of that event.
Box truck or 3 of the van?
3 of the box trucks for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Just in Camp Washington?
Just in Camp Washington. Yep,
I didn't think that many people lived there.
for sure. Yeah, a lot of
They
people.
know like grad student, which.
Yeah.
That's, it's supposed to be warehouse.
Yeah, I think we had almost 100 people come. So, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a really good event, so, so yeah, this is what the hub is doing, this and more, there's other ways, like I talked about, getting involved with the volunteer, we have, we have a newsletter that's really helpful and a wealth of information. We also have what I feel is to be a really good social media presence. Katrina Weiss is our marketing manager. She was hired in August of last year and really helped improve and kind of give us some really solid branding.
So what are your plans like for the, like 5-year, 10-year plans? Like,
So 5 years from now, we want to be in a permanent location. That is not where we are because we rent in the building we are in, and we are also, the building is full of other tenants. We have a small parking lot at the building we're in. So if we're really busy, it's difficult to sometimes navigate. But we opened on Tuesdays in July of this year, so that's helped to kind of relieve some of the congestion of our Thursdays and Saturdays. But 5 years from now, ideally, we're in a permanent home somewhere in town here, with more property where we're able to grow significantly more. We want to have a lot of things that are people can kind of come and say, like, I'm having a party for somebody that's turning 40, and instead of having to go to the store and buy all the things, you come to us and sign it out for a small fee. You take it home, you have your party, and you bring it back to us. And then we put it back on the shelf for somebody else to use it. So a lot of like expanded ways for reuse that we intend to do. Bring in some nonprofits in the area that, don't have the ability to have kind of a home-based location that, that aligns with our mission, to kind of give them a place to do a lot of pop-up things, expand our swaps, expand our kind of repair. We want to have like repair all the time. If you have a pair of pants that need hemmed, or you have a seam that opened up and they need repaired, instead of throwing them away and going buy new pants, you can come to the hub and get them fixed. So, or we can help you learn how to do it yourself. So those are all things that are in the kind of pipeline for what a permanent location for us looks like. We would like to do on-site composting ideally versus having Queen City Commons do it for us, where we are doing the composting on site, and a lot of other things beyond that too. But
wouldn't it make sense to work with, like, Rumpke has all the pumps things come in, like the bottle pumps, and all the things that they put into it. Wouldn't it make sense to just have them, like, being near them and just take that stream from them?
so
I mean, a lot of stuff.
yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's just really a matter of space availability, and when we're ready to like take that stuff financially. But
Well, it seems like you could partner with them, maybe, like somehow they could pay for something.
yeah, but I mean, they
Like between them and the city should pay for something.
yeah, for sure. It's just, it's all about processes for them and being able to manage it. Like they're sorting their things that are making them money, and what's not, like, it's just going to the trash. So it's a matter of like them being able to like say, we're willing to then sort the trash, and then give it to the hub. So it's hard to say like that. I don't know if, that makes sense for them or not, but we do have a partnership with them right now. Since this time last year, it is for lithium batteries. Lithium batteries are, I'm sure Jeff talked about this, I don't know, maybe not, but They are a big cause of fires for them in their facilities, both their trash facilities and their recycling facility, as well as their trucks. If you guys ever got a card that, and you open it up and it sings a song, plays music or something, there's a battery in there, there's cords in there, and people are tossing those things in curbside recycling because they're like, it's just paper. But there's stuff in there that can cause fires, and a lot of the fires have been caused just by those kind of batteries. But lithium batteries can come to us at zero cost, thanks in part to that partnership with Rumpke. There's also drop-off locations around town at certain fire stations where you can take your lithium batteries. Where my fire department lithium ion. So we're up to, I think it's 12 locations. So we expanded in Northern Kentucky this year. So we have 3 in Northern Kentucky and the rest are in Ohio. But these are all locations. If you can't get to the hub, you can get to a fire station that's possibly near you. Hyde Park, out by Lunken, up in Coleraine, Green Township, Indian Hill, Madeira, St. Bernard. All of those firehouses are collecting lithium batteries, so anybody can go to those stations. If you live in Northern Kentucky, Central Campbell County, which we were really excited to get a station out there collecting for us. Fort Wright and Ludlow, we also have a waiting list of 6 fire stations, or I think it's at least 6 to grow this program next year, which we're super excited about. But you know, any kind of lithium battery can get dropped off there for free, and the fire department takes care of it, and then we pick it up from them and bring it back to the hub and get it sent off to get recycled. So
you must get money for those, right?
So we don't get money for the lithium batteries. We get charged to send them out to get recycled, and Rumpke's covering those fees by paying for this program. Yeah, batteries are not something we get paid for at all.
That's strange.
Yeah.
I mean, they complain about they run out of lithium.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dangerous cycle. But you think we get money for it.
Yeah. So for you guys, like moving forward, Greg and I were talking, I did a presentation to some students at Kent State last year, who are basically like packaging design students, and packaging is, you know, we need some really forward thinking people to change the way our product packaging is right now. There's so many products that come in packages that are mixed materials attached to each other. I was talking about a Pringles can. It has a metal bottom attached to a cardboard tube that is foil lined inside and has a plastic lid. Like, whenever there's different materials attached to each other, it makes it very difficult to recycle it, because you either have to be willing to like dissect it and take it apart, or it's all going into the trash. There's some jelly jars that you'll buy. It's a plastic jar that has what appears to be a plastic lid, but it's really just a plastic rim. And then there's a metal part that's snapped into that rim. So that lid again has metal and plastic attached to each other. So we just really need to like be forward thinking about like product packaging, plastic packaging, trying to keep, we have things that come to the hub that say there's like, it's a number 7 plastic and it's a number 1. Like, how can that be? Like, like it should all be one thing or the other, one material or the other. You know, we need the like people to get creative and find ways to make packaging that is ideally a single material that could even better go into curbside recycling. And how can we accomplish that and be able to do it in a good way? So until that happens, the hub will continue to take all the things that can't go to curbside recycling. Rumpke obviously, you know, continues to improve their technology. But until that, you know, happens, we're here to take all the things. So.
Yes, any question? We have one P&G person. It's responsible for
All the P&G.
question about?
I'm definitely doing things to like try to help, but like I also not supposed to say much about like their more upstream stuff.
Yeah,
But there was like a new thing where they were replaceable part of a bottle that like say however many will a year. And I know that they're like being like more pushed towards it, but it's kind of like a weird balance for them too, where it's like, if you've seen Olay Super Serum, like they have like those glass bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a pump and like the glass is more recyclable than like a plastic jar, then that Olay Super Serum is like close to $40. And so it's like, they're also struggling because it's like they're trying to be in a weird market where Olay, for example, is like higher end of the drugstore, but like can't be competing with like the Sephora ones,
Yeah.
so.
but to your point, that glass jar for that Olay
Yeah.
serum is not recyclable.
Oh,
It is not. So the glass that you're putting into your curbside recycling is all food-based glass. So none of that can go,
what are you supposed to do with like?
it goes to the trash.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, like, that is the
It's
problem.
like, I also have. like,
They're
a-
also too small to go to curbside recycling, a lot of them, like, they don't meet the 3 inches or taller requirement, but like, you're putting a wine bottle, a beer bottle, a pickle jar, if it's a glass jelly jar, like, that's the glass you're putting into your bin at home, like, it is not a candle, like a glass candle jar, you're not putting that, it's not a broken glass from your kitchen cabinet, like those, it's not an Olay serum jar or bottle, that can't be recycled, so that's exactly like the thing that I'm talking about, like, there needs to be better packaging that is wildly acceptable across the country and really the world, like, on a P&G level, like, that is a global company that, like, there should be packaging that is like accepted and recyclable through curbside programs that everybody can do.
Can you guys use like recycle like the bear bottle? I know that that was like a new thing that they did, where they're like trying to make sure, like, they started with like a first innovation like round, which is bear with its head and shoulders. which
Okay,
is-
oh, I did see that.
Yeah, so like, I know that they're trying to like at least start there, but part of it too is like, they can't just switch all their packaging at once, because then it's like, if they switch all their packaging at once, yeah, it might be great there for the environment, but then if they're feeding their consumers, then
Yeah.
that's also.
So the bottle looked to be the same as their current Head and Shoulders bottle, like in style, is it still like where the,
No,
it's different?
yeah, here, let me, it's literally called like Bear Head and Shoulders.
I saw the brand, I saw a commercial for it, but I felt like looking at the bottle that it seemed to be similar.
It's, I have it at home, I didn't bring it in, but like the bottle itself is. This is like hard, but like the bottle itself, I think is become like a higher amount of recycled material. And if you like, I think the bottle itself is recyclable, I don't know if like the cap is, but like if you use it, it like, you know how like a toothpaste bottle, like as you like.
Yeah.
It gets smaller,
That's
that's
how
how that is, like it doesn't stay.
So it's like, is this it?
No, it like basically becomes like a toothpaste, you can see the
Oh, I
bottom.
see that, yeah, down here,
Yeah,
that's interesting,
so I know that they're trying to do stuff like that, but
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know, because ultimately that, to me, is not curbside recyclable, because you can't put a toothpaste tube in your bin.
yeah.
And if that's collapsing like that, I don't know that would meet the bottle and jugs like shape, like requirements for a rum. So that's the weird stuff about it. They're trying to do better, but like, does it then complicate things even more? I don't know. That would be it. That would have been an interesting question for Jeff Schneider, because I would love to know what he would say about that. My guess is he's gonna say they wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same as the toothpaste tubes?
Yeah, it looks like it, which you
I
can't
don't-
put it to
Oh,
curbside.
but you take it though.
We take toothpaste tubes,
So
yeah,
would you take this?
probably.
I don't know how to explain its feel in comparison to toothpaste, it's just like it kind of rolls up like toothpaste does.
Yeah.
But I also,
Oh, it's softer than toothpaste tube.
yeah, it still feels like plastic, it's not like, but it will collapse in on itself as you use it, like it doesn't stay upright.
I didn't see that, I just saw the commercial showing the bottle and I didn't realize all that going into that, so. Yeah, like, that's the thing, like, it's great, but is it then making it less wildly curbside recyclable, because I feel like it would. So that's kind of like solving a problem in their mind, but creating a bigger problem for everybody buying.
Yeah, I also do know that like, I think that this goes across a lot of companies, but a lot of the time you'll hear people say like, consumers want compostable this, recyclable this, but then consumers don't actually do it. So it's like they're feeling the consumer need of like, hey, we want this to be recyclable, but I don't know if it's like anyone is thinking about where it goes end wise, because
Right.
it's like they're just checking off like for consumers to buy.
They're-
things.
correct. They're checking boxes,
Yeah.
they're checking boxes, that's what corporations are doing, so it's, gonna happen that it's gonna be like a government, like that, from the government down.
Or
Pushing,
I mean, they'll sue and
Correct.
say, we call that recyclable.
Yeah. yeah, so it's hard to say.
I think it is, like, I think the bottle is recyclable, I just don't know if you have to like go and like wash it 7 million times, like I haven't tested it myself.
No,
I'm
but
not
now they're
talking
getting
about
sued
it.
if you claim, even if it is recyclable, if you claim it is, it has to actually be recycled, you pay for it. And then if you don't, then they come and sue you.
I'm sure that they
I'm not sure who, but some.
fill their packaging requirements, they are worried about getting sued. The second that someone gets something, they.
I think the lawsuits are more effective than the laws actually in the US,
But,
because we'll never get the laws here, but you.
Yeah.
Plenty of lawsuits,
yeah,
so it's basically that's how things. are fixed.
yeah.
It makes more sense, the regulation makes a lot more sense, but we don't do things that way.
No, for sure, everybody wants to sue everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any other questions or anything that anyone want to volunteer? We have a sign machine. Yeah, so I guess, maybe you're done, I guess, pretty much, but thanks, yeah, thanks for coming down. Anybody wants to talk after?
Yeah, happy to talk.
Football.
I'm a sports fan, fan for sure, like.
Good.
My son's in that here right now in graphic design, and I grew up here, so,
You should come over to this. And
what's that?
you could have invited him to the technology.
So he actually is co-oping for us right now,
Oh,
so,
sorry.
yeah, he's all about the hub and sustainability, he's done quite a few projects like related to stuff for us.
Yeah.
For his schoolwork, so, yeah, we love having him to help us, so. But, yeah, if you guys wanna volunteer, we're happy to have you come, otherwise, like, moving forward, there's, it's just thinking about things in a different way and how, can you be better and be, try to be a little bit more responsible and the things you're doing, whether it's like packaging, like chemically, like what's the makeup of things. We all see the chasing arrow symbol and everybody thinks, oh, that can go to curbside recycling, but I think probably at this level, you guys all know that it's not indicating that at all. It's just telling you what kind of like chemicals are used to make up those plastics. So number 5 plastic does not mean that it can be and it's in the chasing arrow symbol doesn't mean it can go to curbside recycling. So while we can put tubs like butter and yogurt and cottage cheese into our bin here locally, you go to Skyline and get a carry out 3-way, that number 5 container cannot go into curbside recycling. So that's the kind of stuff that, we just need to think about moving forward. Uh-oh. I didn't touch it.
Don't worry, it's not good.
You wait where it's small.
Oops. Yeah. Anyways, so thanks for coming. There was, they put on like warnings and something happened.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
You
Thanks,
guys
Jim.
where you were pants and all those shoes, but you need to go to the last place.